Hey everybody, this is GGB. We're going to be getting into this third divisional game. We have the ACC in their first game playing in these Conference of Champions. Uh, Taking on the AAC, an American team that didn't play its best game against Conference USA, but eked by regardless, and is in its second divisional round game in 2 years, when it hadn't even made a divisional round game up until last year. AAC has really turned their program around, and I've been talking for a long time about how the independents are going to go down in quality next year because they're losing the three teams, and one of those teams is BYU, who's a large portion of their roster, right? Without BYU, it's literally all Notre Dame players. There's a couple of UConn, there's a couple of UMass thrown in there, a couple of Liberty, a couple of New Mexico States, but it's about 60% Notre Dame players and like 35% BYU players. You're going to be losing a lot of that talent. The Americans in a very similar situation where a lot of their talent comes from Cincinnati, Houston, UCF. Mostly Cincinnati and UCF, but Houston does provide a couple players here and there. There are losses. They do gain some teams. Florida Atlantic is a decent add. You're going to get some decent players coming out of there, but on a whole, you're going to lose a lot of talent, and next year you might not have the chances that you do this year. So if you're ever going to make a conference championship, which the goal eventually is to do that if you're an American, if you're the American, this is your year to do it, right? You're playing an ACC team, the 2 seed. It's going to be tough, but regardless, you actually do have a chance. This is a 7 seed that I think is very good and has a good shot at winning. It's going to be returnable here by the AAC Buccaneers. By the way, the AAC is going to be the Buccaneers if you missed the first round, and the ACC is the Falcons, mainly because Arthur Smith went to UNC, which is why the ACC is coached by Arthur Smith, and they're the Falcons this year. And onto the field comes the quarterback, Desmond Ridder, for this football team. This is Desmond. You know, we're talking about Zach. This is Zach Wilson's last run in the Independence SEC game. This is Desmond Ridder's last run, right? Like after this year, they're going to be moving to the Big 12, and it's going to be a question if he even makes the roster. He's definitely not beating out Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, so he's trying to go for that quarterback 3 spot. But he'd have to probably beat out guys like Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. So it's actually going to be a battle for him to even make the roster next year, much less start. So, and he's never going to start considering Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts exist. Under center is Desmond Ridder, so this is really his last run. This is his last hurrah. 3 tight end set. They're going to go handoff up the middle. Good run there by Tony Pollard. Again, a good part of this offense is going to be Tony Pollard, right? Tony Pollard is a stud for Dallas in real life, and he's a stud for this AAC Buccaneers team in fictional life, right? This is a good football team. So it's going to be interesting. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder, running back to the right of him, and Tony Pollard. Receiver split out top. He's going to have time. He's going to fire underneath. It's going to be caught. That's leading me to a part of this offense I should mention. Travis Kelce, the best tight end in all of football, is on this football field because he went to Cincinnati. You're talking about if you're the Big 12, you're going to have a tight end core of Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce next year, which theoretically should be very good for your football team. Under center, and you're only going to have 1 year of that, so next year is really your championship window. Under center, Desmond Ridder. They're going to hand off up the middle. Good run by Pollard, yeah. So the interesting thing about the AAC Bucs, at least that happened last game, is they involve both of their running backs a decent amount. Both Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson got a good amount of carries for this football team. By the way, Todd Bowles went to Temple, by the way. If you're wondering why he's the head coach of the American team, he went to Temple, which is why he is the head coach of the American, and he's going to be the head coach of the American until Todd Bowles is either fired or retires as a head coach. So the Bucs will be the American for the foreseeable future. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder, running back to the left in Tony Pollard. Going to take the snap. He's going to fire. Really in traffic, and that's somehow caught by Pollard on the back hip of Tony Pollard. Desmond Ridder puts it really the only place Pollard has a chance of catching the football if it's not intercepted. A crazy dangerous throw for Desmond Ridder here early, but it results in a gain of 6 regardless. So a good throw, I guess it turns out to be, for this offense. Going to bring up a 2nd and 4 from the 48-yard line, and a solid opening drive here by the AAC Buccaneers. Shotgun for Ridder. Tony Pollard to the left. He's going to go play action here for Pollard. He's going to have a lot of time. He's going to fire it underneath. It's going to be caught Not for a large gain, only a gain of 2. That's, I believe, Kelsey's second catch of the ball game for only 6 yards, though. Doing a very good job of keeping him in check is this ACC defense. ACC defense, by the way, is a very good defense, and I would not be surprised if that is a large reason why, if the ACC go on to win this game, they have a decent shot at a championship. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder. He's going to fire it. That's going to almost intercepted. That could have been a pick 6 right there if that Atlanta Falcons player catches the football. But regardless, good stop by the ACC Falcons, and the AAC Buccaneers is going to be forced to punt this ball away. If you're the American, you're going to try and pin them inside the 10. It would be a nice spot because this offense is a very hard offense to try and stop, and to ask your American defense to do that consistently is going to be a very tough ask. At the 50-yard line, the punt is away. It is going to land at about the 11, and it's returnable. He's going to get it to about the 21 on the return, 12-yard return for Hunter Renfrow. That is going to be Hunter Renfrow's main position on this football team. He's not a number 1 through 3 wide receiver. You're not going to see Hunter Renfrow on the field a whole lot outside of punt returns. That is his specialty. You can just see how decent the receiving core is pretty solid if Hunter Renfrow's wide receiver 4 for this football team. Not to mention Darren Waller. Darren Waller is an underrated part of this offense, but Dalvin Cook is a beast. He should be great. T. Higgins and Mike Williams and DeAndre Hopkins makes up a good, if unspectacular in Conference of Champions terms. Like, in real life, that's an insane receiving core, but for the SEC and the Big Ten, it's not as great. Shotgun for Lamar Jackson. He's going to take the snap. 4-man rush. He has time. He's going to try and scramble. He has some running room, and he's going to get it to the 37-yard line. 15-yard run off the bat for Lamar Jackson in this offense. And that's going to be something you got to stop. The great thing about the Falcons, and this is why Lamar Jackson fits so well there, is in the past he's had to conform to a more pocket-style passing, is that the Falcons like to run a lot of read option plays, and they like to get the quarterback on the run and the move, and that is something that fits very much in the Lamar Jackson style of offense. So that's gonna fit the player really well. Under center is Lamar Jackson. Dalvin Cook behind him. They're going to hand off up the middle to Dalvin Cook. He has a hole. Dalvin Cook's going to burst it big already in AAC Buccaneers territory to the 44-yard line. Good run by Dalvin Cook. And after 2 runs, they're already at the 44-yard line. Thanks to this offense is going to be a running machine. You're talking about one of the best running backs in all of football in Dalvin Cook in this game. And you're going to talk about the best running quarterback in all of football in Lamar Jackson. So, really good duo you have there if you're the ACC. Shotgun here for Lamar Jackson. Dalvin Cook to the left. Going to take the snap. 4-man rush. He's going to have time. He tries to scramble. He's going to, and he's going to get 4 yards on the rush. Not the most in the world, but now he sets up a decent 2nd and 6 opportunity for his football team. With 11 minutes, only 4 minutes into the game, the AAC started with the football. The ACC forced a punt, and the ACC is having a very solid drive here. Empty set for Lamar Jackson. Don't count out a run here, though. 4-man rush, he fires quickly. It's going to be caught short of the sticks, though. 3rd and 1 upcoming. I believe that's Darren Waller's first catch of the ball game. First catch for 5 yards. And chance for a stop here if you're the AAC Buccaneers. 3rd and 1 upcoming. Can they get a stop? Shotgun here for Lamar Jackson. Trips to the top of the set. Dalvin Cook to the left of him. Going to take the snap. It's going to be a pass. He's going to fire it on a curl route. It's going to be caught for the first down to the 27-yard line. Tough catch. Good coverage there by the AAC. Regardless, the ACC has a better catch and a better throw to match it. And T. Higgins gets a big catch for 7 yards for a first down. And the ACC keeps a very promising drive alive thanks to a good throw. This is not bad coverage by any stretch of the imagination by number 29 for the American. And just like that, keep a very good drive alive. 5 minutes into this football game already, and we're looking at a very good ACC team with a chance to take a 7-0 lead here early. Shotgun here for Lamar Jackson. Dalvin Cook to the left of him. Takes the snap. 4-man rush. He's eventually pressured. He's going to fire it. That's going to be caught Inside the 15-yard line to the 11 is Mike Williams with his first catch of the ball game. Mike Williams should be a good part of this offense moving forward. But it brings up a 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, and very close to that end zone is the ACC Falcons. They can smell it. That's a great throw by Lamar Jackson, getting the ball to his receiver in Mike Williams, who runs a very good route to get open on that. 1st and 10, the 11-yard line. Chance to still get a first down without a touchdown. Empty set is Lamar Jackson. 5 wide. He's going to take the snap. They bring a blitz. He's pressured. He's going to fire to the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. The pressure forces an inaccurate pass, and that's going to result in an incomplete pass for this offense. Good defense there by the AAC Buccaneers, and you need to stop, right? Forcing a field goal is massive. You don't know how many points your offense can actually put up consistently. Again, this isn't like the Independents. The AAC does not thrive on offense. Under center is Lamar Jackson. He's going to take the snap. 4-man rush. He's going to have time. He's going to get sacked. Huge sack by Ed Oliver for his first of the ball game. Ed Oliver's the guy you're losing next year, by the way. Talking about Houston players that make a difference. Ed Oliver makes a huge difference for this football team. You're not going to have him next year. Great play by Ed Oliver in what might be his last game as the American Buccaneer. If he wins, he gets to play another. And that's how this whole entire thing works. If you keep winning, you get to keep playing. If not, this is your last game as an AAC Buccaneer. But 3rd and 14, can the AAC get a massive stop? Like, this would be huge for the AAC to force a field goal. Shotgun for Lamar Jackson. Going to take the snap. 4-man rush. He's going to have time. He's going to scramble to his right. He's going to scramble, period, and get to the 9-yard line. Not enough for that first down, and they're going to force a field goal here, which is massive. If you are an AAC Buccaneers fan, forcing a field goal is huge for this football team. You got to force field goals when the ACC is in this position. You can't let them get in this position too much, though. Graham Gano out there to kick this one through the uprights, and he does. And the ACC Falcons take an early 3-0 lead in this ball game. Trevor Lawrence out there to hold this one. Again, T-Law's a backup. Not a bad backup to have by any stretch of the imagination for the ACC. I think if you're a Trevor Lawrence fan and Jaguars fan, you hope that he's the number 1 quarterback next year. But right now, he is the backup for this football team. It's going to be interesting. That could easily fluctuate in the years coming, going back between Lamar Jackson and Trevor Lawrence. Talk about other big teams, you're not going to talk about that, right? Like the SEC, Joe Burrow has that job, at least for the foreseeable future, right? I don't think Dak or Matthew Stafford can really contend for him. It's going to be Joe Burrow's job for a long time, I think. The Big Ten's more interesting because you're losing Tom Brady. It wasn't really a question between Tom Brady and anyone else for the longest time, but you are losing Tom Brady, so that's going to become a question. And the Big 12 is not a question, right? It's Patrick Mahomes. The interesting thing is in the Pac-12, it looked like it wasn't even going to be questioned. Justin Herbert would be the guy moving forward, but Oregon moving to the Big 10, suddenly it's going to be a question. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder, running back to the left, tight formation. He's going to take the snap. 4-man rush. He's going to throw on the run. He's going to be able to complete it, and then a good run after catch is going to result in an 8-yard gain. Good job here early on by Desmond Ridder getting the ball out to his playmakers. Cortland Sutton underneath gets an 8-yard gain. Cortland Sutton's the guy you're not going to lose on the bright side. A lot of this receiving core you're not going to lose in the American outside of Gabe Davis. A lot of SMU players. So SMU staying is massive. Under center for Desmond Ridder. They're going to go play action to Tony Pollard. He's going to fire it. Incomplete. Luckily, because if that's on target, that's an interception by the ACC. 3rd and 2. And what do you do? Probably you got to think Tony Pollard up the middle. He was one of your better players in the Conference USA game. Tony Pollard has been too consistently good of a running back to not consider using him here. Trips to the bottom of the set. 3rd and 2. They're actually going to go pass here. Desmond Ridder throws on the run. He's going to complete it to the 43-yard line. Good throw on the run. It's Desmond Ridder finding his man in Darnell Mooney. Out of Tulane, by the way. Again, another receiver you're not going to lose. Good for Darnell Mooney. Bad for great for the AAC offense, right? Like, you're going to get to keep a great player in Darnell Mooney and Cortland Sutton. You're just going to lose Gabe Davis. This receiving core is not going to go down a massive amount. Empty set here, actually, for Desmond Ridder. Trips to the top of the set. He's going to take the snap. He's going to fire quickly on an out route that's going to be caught, and he's going to get it to about midfield. Good run. I'm going to bring up a 2nd and 3. Good throw, getting it to Cortland Sutton. Not a bad idea. Cortland Sutton didn't do a whole lot in the game against Conference USA, but again, this is a very good player in Cortland Sutton, and getting the ball to him early on is not a bad idea. 2 tight end set. Under center is Desmond Ridder. They're going to go play action here. He's going to have time. He's going to fire it. It's going to be caught inside the 30-yard line. Getting out of bounds is Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis' first catch of the ball game. Don't expect, if the AC hopes to pull off an upset here, which I think they have a decent shot of doing, Gabe Davis and Cortland Sutton and Darnell Mooney are all going to be involved. Weirdly enough, Travis Kelce has not been utilized a lot by the American. Mainly it's just, I think it's because the offensive scheme for the Bucs really goes away from the tight end and more towards the receivers. Same reason why I think, weirdly enough, the Big 12 49ers would make sense that they use a tight end, because in real life they do use their tight end Kittle a lot. Under center is Desmond Ridder. They're going to go handoff up the middle. He doesn't have a whole lot of running room, and Pollard's only going to get about 2 yards before he's stopped in his tracks. But you got to find creative ways to get... your offensive line is not going to win one-on-one with these DTs, right? Grady Jarrett, Aaron Donald, these are not going to be guys you just beat, especially with your offensive linemen. You've got to find creative ways to get Tony Pollard in open space. Under center is Desmond Ridder once again, 1 tight end set. He's going to go handoff up the middle to Pollard. Pollard has a solid run, basically 5 yards after contact. Going to bring up 3rd and 3. He's going to make it 3rd and short. Interesting. 3rd and 3 is like the middle ground, right? Where running it seems very dangerous unless you're going to go for it on 4th down. 3 yards is a lot. On the other hand, passing it is tough. Okay, shotgun for Desmond Ridder. Running back to the right of him. He's going to go pass here. He's going to fire quickly on a slant route that's going to be caught. 1st down inside the 15-yard line. Great play. Great catch made there by Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney getting involved on this drive. Cortland Sutton getting involved on this drive. Gabe Davis getting involved on this drive. You love to see him getting their 3 great playmakers involved here early on. This is a great pass by Desmond Ridder. Puts it right where it needs to be for Darnell Mooney on the slant. He has anticipation, and he gets a good 1st down to the 11-yard line. And we're talking about the ACC had a solid drive to start. This AAC is having a very solid start of this drive. Can they end this with a punch in the end zone, though, to take the first lead of the game? Shotgun for Desmond Ridder, takes a snap. They bring a 4-man rush. He actually has a lot of time. He scrambles to his right. He has some running room, and he's going to run down to the 4-yard line. Gain a 7 on that rush by Desmond Ridder. And I expect to see him lose his legs a decent amount, right? Like, that's a massive part of Ridder's game in real life, is his ability to scramble outside the pocket and make plays with his legs. Expect to see that a good amount. They're going to bring 3 tight end fullback onto the football field here. Under center is Desmond Ridder. They're going to go handoff up the middle to their fullback, and their fullback's going to get stuffed. Paul Quessenberry only gets a yard. Actually, going to make it 3rd and 1. It's probably a long 1 yard, though. At the 3-yard line, what do you do? Do you get the ball to Tony Pollard here? Do you try to get him involved? 2 tight end set. Under center is Desmond Ridder. Tony Pollard in the backfield. 3rd and 1. They're going to hand off up the middle. Pollard's going to get a touchdown. He's going to walk into the end zone. And Tony Pollard strikes first in this football game and is likely going to give the American a 7-3 lead in this football game with just under 4 left to play in the first. Great response drive by the American. They drive right down this football field, and they punch it into this end zone to take their first lead of the game. And we're seeing some fight here early from the American. I like to see it. Onto the field comes their kicker. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-3 lead for the AAC Buccaneers. And if you're the ACC, you got to strike back too, right? He just had a good drive, but it ended in only a field goal instead of a touchdown. With 3 minutes and 59 seconds left in this first quarter, you'd like to have a solid drive going entering the second, or maybe if it even scored by the time the second quarter starts. Todd Bowles complaining about something on the sideline, but his team just did score a touchdown. Jake Elliott, by the way, is the kicker for this football team. He's out of Memphis, if you did not know. By the way, I've been talking about how it's doomsday and the Americans are going to lose Cincinnati and UCF and Houston. You keep Memphis and SMU, and while losing Cincinnati and UCF are huge deals, right? Like, they're shots to the heart. You keep Memphis and SMU, and both of those have both of those colleges have massive impacts on this roster already, so it's not the worst deal in the world. You're going to gain some players. Just the real worries quarterback, right? You don't know who exactly is going to play the quarterback position because you're losing Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston, which Cincinnati and Houston's your 1 and 2 in Case Keenum and Desmond Ridder. So it's just going to be interesting moving forward, and this is really one of their last chances to win a championship. But under center, they bring their fullback onto the football field, is Lamar Jackson. They're going to go handoff at the middle, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's going to get about 3 or 4 before he's stopped. He gets 3, they mark him. We have 2nd and 7 upcoming. Zaven Collins is a star. Like, he's a star in the making. Talented linebacker out of Tulsa, and you're going to keep him on your football team, which is a nice thing. Temple and Tulsa are going to be underrated parts of this team moving forward. They are going to be huge, as well as East Carolina. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder. Dalvin Cook to the right, tight formation, takes the snap, 4-man rush. He's going to have time. He's going to fire it on an out route. He's going to complete it to the 42-yard line. Good throw, good catch there by Darren Waller. Darren Waller's a player I expect the ACC Falcons to use a good amount because, again, Kyle Pitts is a major part of their offense in real life, so tight end should be a major focus for this football team. Shotgun for Lamar Jackson. Dalvin Cook in the backfield. He's going to take the snap, 4-man rush. He's going to have time. He's going to fire it underneath. It's going to be caught by Dalvin Cook, and he's going to get a yard short of that line to gain. Lamar Jackson has been almost perfect on the day, 2nd and 1. Dalvin Cook makes his first catch of the ball game. Richie Grant is a player you're unfortunately going to lose next year. I think your corner room is going to take a massive hit because your secondary is going to take a massive hit because UCF has been pumping out decent corners and safeties for a while now. Under center, they're going to go play action to Dalvin Cook. Lamar Jackson's going to scramble, and he has some running room. He's going to get the first to the 42-yard line. And just like that, they're in opposition territory. Yet again is the ACC Falcons with 2.5 minutes left to play in this first quarter. They're having a very solid drive to match the AAC. This is what you want to see in a divisional round football game, right? Play these two teams going at it, head-to-head, matching each other. You want to see this, just like the Independence SEC until the final quarter. Shotgun here for Lamar Jackson. They're going to hand off up the middle. Dalvin Cook. He has a big hole, and he's going to break his way for a 6-yard gain. Going to bring up 2nd and 4. Good running here by Dalvin Cook here early. Under 2 minutes left to play in this first quarter of action. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. This has been a very good first quarter. Should stay tuned in for the rest of this game because this game's only going to get better. This is going to be a good matchup. Shotgun for Lamar Jackson. Dalvin Cook to the left of him. Takes the snap. Handoff to Cook up the middle. Cook is going to get stuffed. He's going to get stuffed for a loss of 3 yards. Big play up the middle by Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick is a star for this football team, and I would not be surprised if you hear the name Hassan Reddick a lot here today. He is going to be a phenomenal player for this football team. 3rd and 7. Minute 17 remaining in this first quarter of action, and a chance for a massive stop if you're the AAC Buccaneers. This would be huge. He blows it up, Hassan Reddick does. 2 blockers, it doesn't matter. Hassan Reddick, man out of Temple, I believe, does a phenomenal job of blowing up the play. And with a minute left in this first quarter of action, chance to get a huge stop for the American. Shotgun here for Lamar Jackson. Running back to the right of him. Takes the snap. 4-man rush. He has some time. A lot of time. He's going to fire across the middle. It's going to be incomplete. Incomplete. The hit jars loose the football. And that's going to be 4th and 7 at the 39-yard line. And it's fringe. What do you do? It's a long attempt. What? It's a 54-yarder. I mean, I guess it's worth a try. Onto the field comes Graham Gano to try to put this through the uprights and make it a 7-6 ball game. The kick is up. It is gonna be no good. Wide right. Wide right is Graham Gano's kick. Way right too. And the AAC Buccaneers is going to take over basically already in ACC Falcons territory. And Desmond Ridder has a chance to take his team down the football field and take a 14-3 lead early against this good ACC Falcons team. Great chance here with 48 seconds left to go in the first. You're at your own 46-yard line, so you're 5 yards away from opposition territory. Great field position. And that's going to lead to an empty set for Desmond Ridder. Trips to the bottom of the set. 2 wide receivers up top. Takes the snap. They bring a blitz. He fires quickly underneath. It's going to be caught. Not for a big gain, though. Only a gain of a yard. And that's going to be Travis Kelce's 3rd catch of the ball game, but only for 7 yards. The ACC Falcons have done a phenomenal job of keeping him contained here in the first quarter. So if you're the AAC, you'd like to find a way to get him loose. But if they're keying in on him, that you have good enough receivers to win their one-on-one matchups in Gabe Davis, Cortland Sutton, and Darnell Mooney. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder, 3-man rush. He's going to have time. He's going to fire it low and incomplete. He had 2 men open for a decent gain if he just throws that accurately. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 and a chance to squander this excellent field position that you were gifted by a missed long field goal by the ACC. 3rd and 9, 32 seconds left. X Factor activated for one of the ACC defenders. Shotgun here for Desmond Ridder. Takes the snap. They're going to bring him on a blitz. He's going to fire it. It's going to be caught for a first down to the 41-yard line. Good throw on the out route by Desmond Ridder. Good catch there made on the edge by Darnell Mooney for his 3rd grab of the day. That is likely going to be the last play of this first quarter action. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is going to be a great game moving forward. Unless they snap it here. Under center is Desmond Ridder. They are going to snap it. Handoff up the middle. They're going to snap. Hey, everybody, this is GGB saying adios amigos.